So, Bournemouth have made the run-in for the Premier League very interesting by beating Arsenal at the Emirates. So now I'm left with one question. Even if Arsenal do win the league, should Arteta stay on as the manager? Hi, I'm Wayne and welcome to Goals by the Numbers. Let's just get straight into it. So, I actually saw a really interesting table this week and it was on X, so forgive me, it could be made up. I'm not so sure it is. But it showed a chart which showed the win percentage for Arsenal under Arteta. And let's just say April and June were not really good months. May, coincidentally, was actually quite good for them. But now that we are in April, and Bournemouth won at the Emirates with a winner from Alex Scott, I just have to ask the question and do wonder, with Manchester City next, Manchester City also being 9 points behind with 2 games in hand, if City win their games in hand and beat Arsenal, we're going to be in a situation with 5 games to play. There's just goal difference left. And City would have to see 6.6 goals behind in goals difference. And if they win those 3 games, 1-0 each, they'll only be 3 goals behind and on the same amount of points. Some of the play we've seen Arsenal produce this season has been not great, derisory, poor. However, if we stick to the facts and the information, the stats, they are top of the league. That's ultimately what the history books will tell us, right? We don't look back at the records and say, this team won, scoring loads of goals. We just say, who won the league? And after so many seasons at the club, a lot of money spent to, I would argue, some would agree, disagree. Arteta spent quite a bit of money to then play this type of football. I think sometimes we forget that despite the fact he did work for Pep, he also did play at Everton. And I do imagine, actually, if Moyes was put in charge of this squad, he may do something very similar. Very functional, pragmatic. I mean, Moyes did love to have Fellaini in his team, so he could kind of knock it long to him, which was a shame, because Fellaini could actually... He wasn't a bad player. I just think he was utilised well at Everton as like a number 10. But at Manchester United, they assumed he was going to be like a holding midfielder. It's like, no, he doesn't. That's not how he plays. It's not who he is. But to get back onto the point, I would love to know what an Arsenal fan would think, because to be doing so well, to watch all the other big teams essentially struggle. I mean, City are only come close enough to catch Arsenal and pass them. I don't think City fans would regard this as a vintage squad. In fact, I would almost argue this is like a transitional season for them. I think even next season, if they retained most of the same squad, maybe got 2 or 3 players in, I still can't argue that was another transitional season for them, because they're trying to build for the next, for the next push. But wouldn't it be interesting if City won the league? If they were then relegated due to allegations against the club and what they've done with money, and Spurs went down, could you imagine what that would be like over the course of the summer? I do often think that one thing I do love about social media, you can get opinions raw and unfiltered from anyone on the globe. But I do love the ideas that it would be really great if we could just share memes. And I think the meme sharing in generation, if Arsenal somehow manage not to win this, is going to be generational. I did predict that they would win the title at the beginning of the season. I thought that after so many years of coming second, now would be the time. I wasn't really convinced by Slot because, well, less said about him, the better. And I did wonder how the allegations would affect Manchester City. There are still allegations at this point. I've not seen anything saying that they have been charged with anything, so allegations. I did wonder if that would maybe play on them a little bit, and I think Pep's contract is running out, and I've seen what that's done to Manchester United with Ferguson. Contract's running out. People think he's moving on. He's going to retire. So I thought, yeah, this seems like a good time for Arsenal to make that leap and finally secure a Premier League title after 2 decades at this point. But they are seemingly looking to do it the absolute hard way. I actually think that even if they did go on to win, I think there's a section of fans who are going to be like, you know what? We're happy that we've won, so we've now got the 20-year monkey off our back, but the style of play, I'm just not sure they're going to stomach that. I just think they're going to stomach that and be happy with it. So yeah, we'll have to see. Anyway, on to the match. Bournemouth took the lead with the really well worked goal, and what really kind of surprised me was from an Arsenal corner, Gabriel was actually kicked the ball about half a yard into a Bournemouth player and a penalty been given. I did personally think it was a bit harsh because I don't know where the guy's supposed to go when there's like a ball kicked at him from literally a yard, half a yard, but whatever. Gyökeres scored the penalty, and my first thought was, haven't most of his goals actually come from penalties? I think he's maybe on like 11 goals at this point, which is a massive drop off from 44. So again, I'm left wondering, with the way the team is structured, are they actually getting the best out of the two wide players and the striker? I really don't think so. But whatever. That's for Arsenal fans to figure out and decide on what they want to do and how things are supposed to work. So yeah, 1-1, and you think, okay, they've got back into the game. Arsenal are at home. They beat Sporting Lisbon away in the Champions League. In the previous weekend before that, they lost in the FA Cup to Southampton. So just another victory would have helped to kind of get that monkey off their back of the old, are they going to bottle it and crack? Because I think at this point, this is what we are all waiting for now. Is it going to fall apart, or are they actually going to get over the line? I do think that Bournemouth's winner was really well worked. I actually saw a clip from the ref cam, which I'll link below if I can find it again, where you saw the play and the ball goes forward, is nudged by a Bournemouth player into the path of Alex Scott, who runs past Gabriel and then slots it home. And at that point, you're thinking, 20 minutes, just under 20 minutes to go, Bournemouth have now taken the lead again. This is not good. Yeah, I don't think Arteta can stay if he doesn't win this season. If he does, there has to be some kind of agreement where the board say, look, we'd rather you come third playing better football than this, because this is not it. This is not it. So yeah, another defeat for Arsenal. They are now in danger of being caught by Manchester City, who, if they win their next 3 games, they're going to be level on points, or about 3 goal difference. This is going to get interesting. I would actually say that, and the good thing about social media is this is probably going to be clipped and brought back to me in 20 years' time. If Arsenal manage to fumble this title challenge, I actually think we're not going to be able to say something is Spursy anymore. I think it might be a Spursy tag's going to be a bit more of an Arsenal tag thing, because there's no way it should be like this. No way. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, comments down below. I'll catch you in the next one.